Tom asks, during handicap I dropped 7 targets out of 50. I had not dropped that many targets during any of my practice rounds. I was devastated, angry, frustrated, and frankly confused. I had been practicing well, lots of targets in the previous 10 days, maybe 700 targets in total. Where the blank was my head?
Hi Tom, great question. There are any number of possibilities as to why your game came apart, and with my clients I usually go through a checklist that goes from anything from heat stroke to what you had for breakfast. You just may have run out of energy. But I'm going to approach it from what you said about your practice, shooting 700 targets in 10 days, and there are 2 things I'd like to mention about that. The first is that you may want to have quality practice over quantity practice. I have a shooter who, because he lived so far from the range, he managed to shoot an extra 300 targets every time he went, and his game still went south. And I asked him about that, and he said, well, I just get bored shooting that many targets. And I said, well, the answer is in your score. You need to shoot fewer targets and make sure they're quality. And one of the things you can do to make sure they're quality is you can add adrenaline. Now, I kind of call it barroom brawl type of adrenaline, where it's stoked up and you feel good and you're ready to just smoke that target. But you need to do that for every station or every post you step into. It can't just be occasionally. The second thing I'd like you to think about is doing specific practice on some of your problem stations, problem posts. Many people go shoot practice rounds with friends and it becomes a social thing, and they don't work on what they really need to work on. I have one guy who practices only the things he needs to practice, and other guys won't shoot with him. But they will watch him trying to find what the silver bullet is that he's doing in his competition, and he's only been at it for 3 years. And people who have been at it for 20 years are watching him, and all he's doing is practicing specific things that he needs to practice rather than getting caught up in the social part of shooting. So try those 2 things. Go for quality practice rather than quantity, and have that adrenaline factor in every time you shoot. And second, I want you to go practice what you need to practice rather than turning practice into a social affair. And that's it. Go give it a try. Bob Palmer, Sport Excel, helping you to own the zone and own the game.